Okay, so I'm gonna remake my bee keychain video. I've remade it before. I'm pretty sure I have, and I still get people commenting till this day saying they can't follow through with it, or I was going too fast, or I didn't show y'all the steps, or I said too much. Those videos are older, at least over a year old, if not older. I've learned a lot and came a long way in my crocheting and video making since then. So real quick, I'm going to be using whatever yarn I have. I'm trying to use up the yarn that I have that just sits that I don't use. And plus I've been making things and leaving them or giving them to people as like little random acts of kindness kind of thing. So I printed off little tags. Yeah, it's been pretty fun to do. My 5-year-old loves it. So I'm going to go over everything you're going to need, and then we will get into the video, and I will show you every single step of the way and go as slow as I possibly can. Again, if you need to, you can pause this video, you can rewind it, or you can fast forward it. Start off with, you're going to need a crochet hook. I always use a Susan Bates size H hook. I never use any other size hook. If you know me well enough, you know this is the only hook I use. You can use whatever size you're comfortable with. Just remember, the larger the hook, the larger the product is going to be. The smaller the hook, the smaller the product will be. Unless you're like me and you use one size hook and just make different variety sizes of stuff, which is what I did with this. So this is what I use. Crochet hook. You're going to need a yarn needle, a darning needle, a blunt-ended needle for sewing, whatever you want to call it. You can get plastic ones or metal ones. I prefer metal ones. You need that for sewing the wings on. You're going to need a keychain if you want to add a keychain to it. Here's a keychain and the jump ring. You're going to need this. Scissors. Polyfill. Stuffing, whatever you want to call it. Polyfill. And then you're going to need safety eyes. Use whatever safety eye size you want. I have a ton of these small ones, so I'll be using these. And then these are the backings for it. Make sure you put the backings on there. And then you're going to need, of course, yarn. Use whatever color yarn you want to. You can make your bee whatever color you want, but I'm going to go with the basic color of yellow and black. This is cotton yarn. This is 100% cotton yarn. I was using this for dish rags for an order, and then I just have this. So I'm going to use this up. So this is like a mustard sunflower color, really pretty, black. And then I have this color. I might use this for the wings, or I might go and get some white yarn. I don't know yet. We'll see. But you'll at least need 3 colors. Okay. So, and I'm going to put the stitches that you're going to need to know. It's pretty basic, pretty beginner friendly. You're going to need to know how to do a magic circle, which I will show y'all how I do mine. Magic circle, increase, single crocheting, and decrease single crocheting. That's pretty much it. So I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna turn y'all around, and we're gonna get into this video here. Okay, so this is how I do my magic circle. This is how I learned. This is how I've always done it. You're gonna take the end of your yarn and put it between your pinky and your thumb, and you're gonna let it fall behind your pinky. You're gonna wrap it around your middle finger and your ring finger twice, and then when you go to wrap it again, you're gonna go all the way up to your index finger, then bring it down between your pinky and your thumb where the yarn tail is. I know that's a little confusing, so I'm gonna do it again. I'm actually gonna do this part right here in slow motion just in case. Okay, so for this part, like I said, I put it in a slower slow motion so y'all can see how I do this a little bit easier, hopefully. There's many different ways to make a magic circle, magic ring. Again, this is just the way I done it. This is the way I do it. This is the way I learned. So after this part right here, I'm going to try to explain it a little bit better, is you see the 2 loops that are on the middle finger and the ring finger. You're going to put your hook underneath both of those pieces of yarn right there. You're going to take your index finger and hold that yarn down so you can yarn over and pull through both of those loops there. And that's going to start the first single crochet. You're going to make a single crochet with that, or chain one, whatever you want to call it. That's pretty much the start of the whole thing right there. And I'm not going to explain, so I'm sorry if this is confusing, but you're going to go back underneath those 2 loops again, yarn over, pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through both. That's your single crochet. And you're going to put 5 single crochet into that loop there, into the whole magic circle. And again, it's still in slower motion so y'all can see exactly what I'm doing, especially if you're a beginner. This should help you some. Okay, so this is what it looks like. There's your yarn tail. You see there's 2 loops there. You're going to want the loop that is going through the front. I know it's kind of hard to tell the difference. Okay, so here I froze the picture so y'all can see exactly what I was talking about. You're going to want to pull the one that is marked with purple. You're going to pull it. It is the one that runs to the front, and it's going to close one of the rings there, or one of the loops. And then the yarn tail you have, you're going to pull that, and that is going to close the other loop there. Okay, so now you're going to go ahead and go into the first stitch there, and you're going to do an increase, or a single crochet increase, I should say, which is 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. So make sure you put your hook under that little V there. Make sure it's under both of those little loops there. Yarn over, pull through. You'll have 2 loops on your hook, and then you'll yarn over and pull through both of those loops. And that is 1 single crochet. And then you're going to go right back into that same stitch again and do another single crochet. That is called a single crochet increase. I just call it an increase, but that's what it is. Now you're going to go into the next stitch right beside of it, and you're going to do the same thing again. You're going to do 2 single crochets into that 1 stitch, and you're going to do that all the way around. So you should have an ending total of 10 stitches, I believe. Now I do something differently than other crocheters that I've seen. When I come to the end of the round that I'm doing, I work continuously in the round. I don't use stitch markers. Feel free to use stitch markers or a piece of scrap yarn to put in there, a paper clip, whatever you have. But I'm going to show you once I get to the end here how I continuously go through the round and work with it here. So I'm trying to do this voiceover so I don't have to use music for y'all. I'm sorry. Usually people will slip stitch into that, I guess, that little leftover stitch there. And here I'm showing you with the yarn needle that's how I can pull the yarn tail on back. That's how I know where the beginning, where the beginning end is there. So I go ahead and do a single crochet into the next stitch. No, I'm not slip stitching. I'm continuously working in the round here. So 1 single crochet, and then in the next stitch, I'm going to do 2, which is an increase. Single crochet 1 in the next stitch. Single crochet 2 in the next. And you're going to do that all the way around. And that is an increase, single crochet 1, or single crochet 1 increase, however you want to do it, however you want to word it, definitely up to you. Okay, so after you did your single crochet 1 increase, single crochet 1 increase, which is what I'm doing right here, is just sped up just to go ahead and finish it and get it done over with. Now you're just going to do a row of single crochet. Super simple, just 1 single crochet at each stitch around until you reach the beginning. That's going to help form the shape, the, you know, like the dome shape of the front of the bee. And, oh my goodness. Y'all, this is the coolest thing ever. We have a tarantula. And it just made a little whip. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to show y'all later. If you're into spiders, at least. So, super simple single crochet around till you reach back to the beginning. Y'all get to listen to what I listen to. So I don't have to worry about copyright on music here. Okay. So that's the little dome shape, the front of the bee. That's what we're wanting. Super simple. And you're going to do another row, or another round, I should say. Sorry. Another round of single crochet. And I'll put the pattern up on the screen as I go through this. So if you don't want to listen to me talk, which I don't blame you, you can see it right there on the screen. Okay, so right here, I'm about to show y'all how I do a color change. So even though I was right there in that last stitch, I had to undo it because I forgot I had to change colors. So what you're going to do is, like you're going to single crochet, you're going to go ahead and yarn over, put your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, and pull it through, and you'll have those 2 loops on your hook. But you're not going to yarn over and pull back through. You're not going to do a single crochet. You're not going to, you know, go through with it. You're going to grab your second color that you want to use. I'm using black here. And you're going to hold the little yarn tail. You don't have to leave a super long. You don't have to leave a super long yarn tail. That's a mouthful to say. Just enough for you to hold on to, just to get that row started, or that round started. I apologize. So you're going to yarn over and pull the black yarn through, or whatever color you're using. Hold down the little yarn tail, go on the inside, and pull your previous color down, so it'll tighten down that little stitch right there, and it'll help you hold it. Then you're going to single crochet directly right back into that stitch right there. And then you will do an entire round of single crochet in that color. And then your next round will be another round of single crochet. So you will have 2 rounds of single crochet in the next color that you choose. Also, real quick, when you reach back to the beginning, make sure that you crochet down into that first stitch that you did when you started, just so that the color lines up or matches a little bit better, and you don't have steps for every time you change colors on the bottom of the bee. Okay, so now we're going to switch back to yellow, or color 1, whatever color you're using. And it's going to be the same way as we did the previous. You're going to make like you're making a single crochet, but you're not going to go through with it. You'll just have your 2 loops on your hook, grab your other color and pull it through, and then single crochet down into that stitch there, and the yarn is just being carried throughout the whole piece here, so it's easy. You don't have to cut the yarn. I used to cut the yarn and reattach it, and that was a nightmare. The bee or whatever I was making would end up eventually coming apart, so that was super embarrassing on my end too. So I've learned how to just carry the yarn through, and it doesn't look bad at all. So you're going to do 2 rounds of single crochet with your first color here, and then you will switch colors one more time to do, actually let's see, you'll switch colors twice. Sorry. It's been a while since I made one of these. You will do 2 rounds of your color 1. You will switch colors again, do 2 rounds of your other color, and then switch back again, which I will come back to normal speed here so I can show y'all how we're going to decrease and close up the end of the bee. I almost forgot here, I stopped to add the little safety eyes. I'm just using these little tiny ones. Like I said, I have a ton of them, so no better way to get them used up than make a little bee here. And just place it wherever you think they look right. There's not a right or wrong way to put your safety eyes, like, you know, placement wise. If you want them closer together, do so. If you want them at the bottom or the top, whatever you want to do, it's your bee. Make it how you want. I flipped the bee inside out. You can see the other side, the I think they call them the stems or the studs of the safety eyes. And there's the backings. Make sure you push the backings on there. Like, actually push them on there. You see that there's like little, I don't know, little flares on the safety eyes. Make sure that the backing goes over at least one. You'll hear it like click or snap or something like that. Make sure that they're on there. Another step you can take is by melting the stud of the safety eye onto, I think, the backing there. Some people use a lighter, they heat it up and they just press it flat. So that's just like an extra security thing there, so the safety eyes cannot come out, will not come out, especially if a young child is to get a hold of it. It could be a choking hazard. Okay, so this is the end of the bee here. This is how we're going to start doing a decrease. I just joined my color here. Now you have that 1 loop on your hook. You're going to insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. Do not complete that. Put your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That's how I do a single crochet decrease. Then in the next stitch, you're going to single crochet, and then in the next single crochet, and then in the next single crochet. So you'll do a decrease and then single crochet 3. Okay, you're going to do a decrease again, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And that is how, again, I do decrease, and you're going to continue that until you reach back to where you started. Okay, so what I do is in between every round, regardless of when I make it, I just do a row of single crochet. It's just, in my opinion, it's a little bit neater. It kind of helps with the sizing as well whenever you're making something. So I'm just going to do a single crochet round, and then now I'm going to do a decrease round once I get back to where I started. I'm sitting here watching our tarantula. It's pretty interesting, even though it creeps me out. Okay, so we're going to do, back at the beginning here, we're going to do another decrease. And here I cut the black yarn. I cut a long yarn tail, not super long, but long enough because that's going to be our stinger. And then the yarn tail from the bee, I ended up putting it in there, and I believe somewhere soon I start stuffing it. Because you don't want to wait till it's too closed up to stuff it, because then it's hard just to get the stuffing in there. And then you have to fight with the yarn. But make sure that the black yarn tail, or whatever color you're using as your color 2, stays out of the bee and hangs off the side. Don't accidentally, make sure you don't, like, you know, put it in there. Make sure the stuffing don't catch it and grab it in there. Make sure you don't crochet with it by accident, because again, like I said, that's our stinger. That's another way I figured out how to use the carrying through the yarn and not have to worry about the stinger falling out or being pulled up, because it's attached to the very beginning of our first stripe there. And it's a super simple way just to do it. So I stuffed the bee. I stuffed it too much. I didn't like it, so I took some of it out. I just didn't like the way the stuffing was showing through. I've never really used this yarn very much, so it was just a I don't even know the word I'm looking for, y'all. A trial and error. So after you've done your decrease single crochet 3, then your single crochet row, you're going to decrease single crochet 2, and it's bad I already forgot. And then after you do your decrease single crochet 2 round, you will do a round of just single crochet. Then you're going to cut a long yarn tail, and we're going to sew the bee closed, and I'm going to show you how I do that. Okay, so we have the long yarn tail. Again, make sure that black yarn tail stays out. Don't sew it up. Don't put it in there. You're going to need that. Go ahead and thread your yarn needle, darning needle, whatever you want to call it. I've heard it called many different things. I just yarn needle. It's easier for me to remember and say. And if I'm correct, I could be wrong here, and correct me if I'm wrong. The way that I sew is called a whip stitch, I think. You're going into one stitch, and then you're bringing it back out to the one right beside of it, and you're just going weaving in and out, back and forth, all the way around the whole entire bee. And then when you pull it, it's like a drawstring. It closes it shut. And then what I'll do is I just sew back and forth just to close. I had a problem with it coming out or coming undone, unraveling, anything like that. Just again, make sure your black yarn tail or your color 2 yarn tail stays out of the back of the bee. Go ahead and just sew, you know, back and forth across it. Just make sure it's closed up, and then I just randomly run the yarn needle and the yarn through to the other side, or to, you know, to whatever random part of the bee, just to make it extra secure. Just run it random places and then go ahead and cut it off. Okay, so I forgot, I did not cut the yarn tail. I just ran it through to the very top. You're going to get your jump ring, and you're going to attach your keychain part to it first. Don't do like I did. I don't know why, I just totally forgot about it and closed the jump ring. And yeah, so here is where I tried to redo this again, and you need to close your jump ring. You don't have to leave it open like I did. Again, I don't know where my mind was at. I was just I was like, what is it? Why is this not working? This is so aggravating. And I was like, oh yeah, I should have done that. So put your jump ring onto your keychain, close the jump ring, then run your yarn needle through it with the yarn, and go ahead and attach your keychain there. Now if you have other ways to attach it, that's perfectly fine. I've seen many people do it different ways. I've done it like this, or I'll just take it and attach it directly to the bee. I just know over time it can probably stretch the bee out, especially if you do use it as a keychain, which I know a lot of people have with the ones that I've made in the past and sold. So I'm just sewing it on as much as I can until I run out of yarn. Okay, so after you've sewn the keychain on there, we're going to trim down the stinger. Don't make it too long, but don't make it too short. About what I cut is pretty decent size. So it doesn't go back up into the bee. It doesn't, you know, look kind of, you know, it's a little crazy. So my phone died, and I started to make the wing. So I'm going to show y'all how to make the wing. I already made one, so you're going to have to make two. Y'all have to excuse my kids. So we're going to do another magic circle. Again, just like I showed you in the beginning. But this time you're only going to put 4 single crochet into the ring. Because we're just making 2 little cute small wings here. Nothing crazy. And the random falls is because my 1-year-old pulled my phone cord and pulled the phone down. And then the second time, my 5-year-old knocked my phone over. Okay, now that you close the magic ring shut, you're going to chain 1. And then turn it over. We're not working in the round, we're working on the other side of it. And you're going to do 2 single crochet in each stitch, or you're going to increase in each stitch. And the shape that you have there is like a semicircle. That's what it's going to look like. And then when you reach the very last stitch here, once I get to it, what you're going to want to do is you're going to slip stitch to the very first stitch that you started at. You're going to slip stitch to it, and then chain 2, and then cut the yarn. And the reason why I do that is because once you chain 2 and cut the yarn, you pull the yarn and pull the chain 2 down, and it knocks it up to where it can't come undone. So it creates a pretty strong little knot there. And then I just cut the yarn tail off the back from the center, because we don't need that. You just need the one down there at the bottom to sew with. And I hope this is making sense, y'all. Again, I'm so sorry. My house isn't quiet. I'm a mess. And don't expect any less, honestly. But this has to be better than my other videos, right? My other bee keychains. Hopefully. So now we have a cute little circle, little bee wing there. And I went ahead and, no, I didn't sew any on it. This is another reason why I don't like cotton yarn, y'all, why I don't use it very much, is it splits so much, and it drives me crazy. Whether you're sewing with it or crocheting with it, it likes to split all the daggone time. So I sewed my wings on the top of the bee behind the first stripe. I think they call the way I put my wings on the teddy bear type, or the teddy bear style, because it looks like little ears. And I'll show y'all here how I just go through the wing and then go back through with the, you know, in the bee, the stitch, and I just keep going back and forth until kids, y'all kids, that's all I'm gonna say, until it's secured on there. And then I just run the yarn needle through the bee randomly, like I said, just to make sure it's secured. And then I'll go ahead and attach the other wing. Now with the other wing, I'm gonna show y'all, I wish I would have with the first one, but I'll show y'all there's another way you can place your wings that a lot of people do with their bees, if you don't want to do the style that I do, the quote-unquote teddy bear style. Okay, so with this wing, like I said, I put it right beside of it, little teddy bear ears, or you can lay it flat on the side like that on the top. I know a lot of people do their bees like that. They just put the wings flat on the top on both sides. Whatever your preference is, it's your bee. Make it how you want it. Make it how you think it's cute and what makes you happy. Okay, so I cut the yarn tail here, got rid of it, and now we have a cute little bee keychain. Very cute, squishy little bee. These are great. I think they're honestly still popular even after the, like over the past couple years, it's still like a popular crochet item is bees of any sort, whether it be the large ones or the blanket yarn bees or these little small keychain ones. They're still pretty popular. I am showing y'all here how you can make like 2 different little smiles on the bee, or if you wanted to, you could just use pink and make little like flushed rosy cheeks on the bee. That's totally up to you. Again, get creative with it. Use different color safety eyes. Whenever I first started making and selling mine, I offered a variety of different colored eyes that people could choose from. I've made some Halloween type ones. I've made candy corn bees. Oh my goodness, I have made so many different kinds. It's unreal. Crazy. Pennywise bee, horror movie, Jason Voorhees bee, which was my favorite because the actor who plays Jason in the movie, he actually commented on, I see that, he actually commented on my TikTok of the bee and followed me, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. But here is a little smile. If you want to, if you use pink or whatever color you want to use for the cheeks, you can stop right there. That makes like little flush cheeks. But this is how I made the smiley face with the little, I guess the little top parts of the smile. And then I'll show y'all how I made just a simple smile without. I prefer my bee not to have a smile at all. I know that sounds terrible probably, but honestly, it's just something I just prefer not to put on there because I'm scared that maybe it could be pulled, you know, and taken out, and I just don't want to chance it. But simple, if you do that, you can, you see I just pulled out those little lines there, and now it's just like a little regular smile. Whatever you want to do is up to you. Totally up to you. whether you sell these or leave them as little random act of kindness things, please make sure you put a thing on the paper warning that it may contain small parts and use caution around children or small kids, please.